over a year ago, the decision was taken that something had to be done about Red Barrel. This was a recommendation not just of production people on the technical side, but by the main board as a whole, backed up by the advice of specialists in marketing and other functions. You see, Red Barrel has been with us now for 15 years and is still the same. In the meantime, other beers have come along in keg with new flavours and meeting new ideas of taste. Therefore, Red Barrel might be said to be old-fashioned. So what we did was to study the whole situation in great detail with our colleagues in the group marketing department. We wanted to find out just what it was that customers liked, what their ideals were, what were the faults perhaps in earlier beers, and altogether how we could make it right for the 70s. What we've done is to give the beer a new, smooth, pleasant taste. We've also given it a much better head and altogether a more attractive appearance. Gone has any suggestion of bitter after palate. Instead, there is a pleasant malty mealiness. It's been a team effort all along. The development has involved a large number of people, initially in the group laboratory, who studied flavour, studied people's reaction to flavour, and produced experimental beers, testing out all the variations we could think of in such things as sweetness or bitterness. The result of all these experiments was a beer in which we have very carefully balanced the bitterness and sweetness, and one which we are extremely proud of. Its acceptability has been confirmed amply by large-scale tests that David Brown and the marketing people have done with consumers, and now we have moved into the stage of production in all the various plants of our group. This has in fact involved 8 breweries, and in every one the production staffs have been extremely enthusiastic in adopting a much improved quality control system for this new beer. This system uses the traditional methods of analysis to control all the things which can be measured with instruments, but in addition uses panels of expert tasters, specially trained at each brewery, to recognize the important characters that make up the special features of the new beer. We shall be producing this at all the 8 plants in our group, and they have all reacted with enthusiasm to the quality of the beer that is coming out. We know that you too will like it and can sell it with very great confidence. The Midlands Brewery at Northampton was involved quite early on, since it has provided most of the beer which is being used for the field trials which are still going on. Our West Region Brewery at Trowbridge, although it uses a slightly older brewhouse plant, has also produced beer matching in every way the specification we have set. Wilson's Brewery at Manchester supplies a most important part of our trade and has already produced a number of excellent batches of the new beer. Our East Anglian Brewery at Norwich has just commissioned a brand new processing and racking plant, and it also uses the latest stainless steel conical fermenting vessels. In addition to these, the breweries at Mortlake, Whitechapel, Brighton and Edinburgh have all taken part in the trials and have all produced matching beers.
Mr. Hipwell has told you about the changes in the beer. Now I want to tell you about some of the changes in its marketing. As you know, we're calling it Watneys Red. That's to make sure that people understand that it follows on from Red Barrel, but also that it's very, very different. So, we're changing the name. And we're also changing the cowl. This will make sure that everyone who sees it on the bar counter will realise that there has been a change, but there's no change in the price. Plans have been made for every red barrel cowl to be changed to one of these, a big programme for our beer service departments, that we know that they will be making a major contribution to the plan. These cowls will start being installed about March the 22nd and go on through April and into May. And deliveries of the beer will start about the same time, but of course that will vary from one depot to another, depending upon stocks and so on. After that, there'll be a great deal of interest and the advertising will start. We're quite sure Watneys Red's going to be a winner. We've been testing it thoroughly all over the country and we've had excellent results. Against any beer you like to name, it's come out the winner. And we've also been selling it in some of our pubs in a quiet way since the beginning of the year, with very good results.
Horsefall in Oldham was told that some product variations were being made to Red Barrel, and he was asked if he'd conduct a field trial. He was also asked if he wouldn't tell his customers, but if he would simply pass on any comments they might make. Here he is. Mr. Horsefall, what sort of comments have you been getting about this new Red Barrel?
Well, very few comments really, but the ones we've got are favourable. The people seem to enjoy the better head, and also they haven't remarked much about the flavour or anything, but it appears to be selling much better than the previous one did.
So it's been going well, has it?
It's done very well, yes. We've had it in roughly a month, and as I say, our sales have probably gone up, particularly for this time of year.
You obviously sell a lot of Red Barrel. I see you've got 2 cowls on the bar. Have you been getting any adverse comments from your regular customers?
Oh no. In fact, the ones that have remarked at all have remarked about the quality of the head and the sharpness of the drink.
Nobody's been put off at all by the change?
No, they thoroughly enjoy it.
As a landlord, what do you think about it yourself? Is it easy to handle?
Well, I think it's easy to handle, and it's a nice drink, it's sparkling, it's very good taste with it.
If you had the choice, would you stick with this new one, or would you go back to the old one?
Oh yes, we'll certainly stick with this one, because it's selling better. And the people must be liking it better, so my change.
So you're happy about it?
Of course.
Major Mann, what do you think about this change?
Well, we in the Tide trade are delighted. We, of course, for many years have been great supporters of Red Barrel, and it's quite essential for us in the Tide estate to have a very high-class, premium quality draft beer, and Red Barrel has served us for many years. Both the retailers, managers and tenants, of course, have looked to a big contribution from this beer, and it has stood us very well. But there comes a time when we really can't get anything more out of it, and I think a change is then necessary.
Are you satisfied that this is the right time for a change?
Yes, absolutely. We've really got to the peak of our volume with this present Red Barrel, and the Watneys Red is designed to increase the volume trade, to retain our present customers and to get new customers.
How are you going to go about this, in fact?
Well, this is a very big problem. We have got involved, the whole of my group Tide estate, in the planning, and they will also be involved from now onwards in the carrying out of this very intricate and important operation.
Chris Holland is the creative director of the agency and the man who thought up the idea behind the television commercials. Mr. Holland, what was your starting point?
Well, our starting point was to dramatise the changes that you heard about. The cow, the name, and the taste of the product. And change them in a way that the modern television audiences can understand. After all, our new bitter drinkers have grown up with television over the past 10 years, and television is the place where modern heroes are born. And so these changes were some fundamental changes. Product, name and taste. A revolution, in fact. A red revolution. So this is where we picked up our theme. The launch of the Red Revolution.
Seen any of this around?
Cunning. Very cunning. Watneys Red, eh? Just what I'd do if I was Watneys. You've only got to taste it. They've got it made.
It looks like a red revolution. And you're going to stop it.
Yeah, me. That's great. Thanks.
New Watneys Red. It's a red revolution.
Yes, sir. Yes, but the whole country's going red, isn't it? It's a red landslide. What do you expect me to do? Blow up their pubs? Yes, all right, sir. I'll try. You only got to taste it. Why bother? They've got it made.
New Watneys Red. It's a red revolution.
I'm outside the Crown and Anchor now, sir. I suspect they're going red. Yes, sir. Yes, as we thought, sir. Yep. You've only got to taste it. We're dealing with a red revolution. Friendly! Better see to it, eh?
New Watneys Red. It's a red revolution.
Cool. You've only got to taste it. It's a red revolution. Sorry, Governor.
New Watneys Red. It's a red revolution.
You know the orders. Stop the red revolution.
Good evening. I do Watneys Red, sir.
You've only got to taste it. They've got it made.
New Watneys Red. It's a red revolution.